All right, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Coach Duhon's Notes. Today we're going to have some fun with geometric mean and similar right triangles. Okay, so here we go. What is the altitude in a triangle? The altitude is perpendicular to one side and intersects the opposite vertex. Okay, so in any triangle, we get perpendicular to a side, so it doesn't have to be in the middle of the side or even on the side. It's perpendicular to the side, and it goes through the opposite vertex. So the altitude to the hypotenuse of a right triangle forms three similar triangles. Okay, so if I look at this triangle right here, triangle ACB, CD is the altitude. We can see that it is perpendicular to AB and it goes through the vertex on the other side. All right, so that makes it a perpendicular triangle. Now, if you look, I've got a triangle right here that I'm going to draw in green, ADC. This is ADC right here. Okay, and then I've got a triangle that I can draw in red right here. That is DCB. Okay, now the funny part here is that each of these triangles we've broken it apart and we've drawn them oriented differently, so they're not all facing the same ways. I think it's a better idea to draw the triangles facing the same way. Okay, so our big triangle has the right angle at the top. So this is our big triangle. This is the medium-sized triangle, and this is the small triangle. Okay, they're all similar. And our small triangle, let's redraw the small one with the vertex at the top. Now, if I look at the large triangle, it is CAB. All right, so our large triangle is triangle CAB. If I look at the middle triangle, okay, if I say CAB, AB is the hypotenuse of the large triangle. The hypotenuse of the middle triangle right here is AC. And so there we go. D is the right angle, AC is the hypotenuse, AD is the long side. So it goes here, and then this is going to be C. So if I say CAB, then the medium triangle that's similar to that is DAC. Again, putting it in the right order. Okay? So over here it's DAC, but it's rotated. This green triangle as I've drawn it is in the same orientation. It's shaped the same way. I just have to flip it. So for the small triangle, again, I'm going to take triangle CAB, my original triangle, and the small triangle, okay, the vertex is at, the right angle is at D, the long side is DC, and the hypotenuse is CB. So if I call my original triangle CAB, then this one is DCB. And then finally, the medium triangle DAC is similar to DCB. Now, it's important that we draw it the same way because now they're similar triangles, and if we need to determine the lengths of some of them, then it's more apparent. So it's really handy to have 3 different color pencils or 3 different color pens when you're doing these notes and these exercises. All right. Now, so that's similar right triangles. The next concept we want to introduce is geometric mean. The geometric mean is the number x such that between two numbers we have a over x equals x over b. So when I cross multiply this, I get x squared equals ab, and therefore when I take the square root of both sides, I get x squared equals ab, and the square root of, x equals the square root of AB, which is just what's written over there. That's what it means to be the geometric mean. So how do we do problems with it? Well, we take our two numbers and we just say 2 over x equals x over 50. And then we cross multiply. We say x squared equals 2 times 50 is 100, so x equals 10. Okay. Try to do the next two without my help and then come back. So pause the video, work on the next two, and then come back and see the answers. There we go. Welcome back. We're going to say 3 over x equals x over 12. So now x squared equals 3 times 12 is 36. So x equals 6, the square root of 36. Now what if 5 over x equals x over 16? What if it doesn't work out to be a perfect square? This is x squared equals 5 times 16 is 80. So now I know that x is the square root of 80, but 80 is not a perfect square. So just as before, we're going to do our factor tree. Well, I know 80 is 16 times 5. So that means x is square root of 16 is 4, and square root of 5 stays in the radical. Simplest radical form. So that's how we're going to want all of our answers presented to us. All right, we have two examples here. So again, the first step is to draw the triangles in the same orientation. I've got my big triangle that's in blue, right? That's the original triangle, okay? I've got my medium triangle, which I'm going to draw in green, okay? So looking at the medium triangle, the right angle, we're putting the right angle at the top here. The right angle is M. The medium triangle is this one. All right. So the long side is ML. Whoops, this isn't L. And the short side is MK, with the hypotenuse being KL. And let's draw our small triangle. And that's this one right here. So the right angle is at M. The long side is MK, and the short side is MJ. Now what about the variables and the numbers? So we look at, first of all, we can see that the hypotenuse of the large triangle is 30. Okay, that's that whole length. Okay, let's label the sides of the small triangle. The long side here, ML, that's got from the right angle to this point, ML, is 24, and the short side is E. The hypotenuse is C. So this is E, and this one is C. For our small triangle, MK is E, MJ is 6, and KJ is D. Now, we're going to leave all of this space to work on this problem, and then you can put the other problem below it. Now, what we want to do, we want to find, we want to make fractions on each triangle that include just one variable. All right? So, I'm going to look at pairs of numbers. For instance, I can't do C over D. That won't be useful for me because it's got two variables. If I wanted to solve for C, I need to create a relationship that has only C's in it. It could be geometric mean, or, excuse me, that has just a C for one of them. All right? So, C appears here in the large triangle and here in the medium triangle. So if I look at it, I can go long side over hypotenuse. So I can say C over 30 is going to be equal to, and over here I have to also do long side over hypotenuse. So I'm going to say 24 over C. So the way that I've set this up, I color-coded it for the triangles. The blue is the large triangle, the green is the medium triangle. This side, this is my long side, and this is my hypotenuse. I did long side over hypotenuse for both of them. Okay? So I get the same ratio, long side over hypotenuse, long side over hypotenuse. Now, C is a number that should be shorter than the hypotenuse, so of this one, so it should be less than 30, but it should be greater than 24. Okay? So when we solve it, that's what we should get. So let's see, this is going to give me c squared equals 24 times 30. All right, we're going to need to pull out our handy-dandy calculator to figure that one out for you guys working at home. 24 times 30 is 720. So then c equals the square root of 720. All right, well, let's see. I know 720. I know it's got 36 as a factor. It's 36 times 20, and 20 is 4 times 5. All right, 36 and 4 are perfect squares, so that means that c is going to be equal to the square root of 36, which is 6, times the square root of 4, which is 2, so 12 square root of 5. That's my c. And let's see, clear all that. If I go 12 times, I do 5 square root times 12, oh gosh, hang on. 5 square root times 12, that gives me 26.8. If I square that number, then I get 720, all right? The square root of that is 26.83, so same thing that I've got. So I know that that's right, and 26.8 is something between 24 and 30, just like we said. So now I've got c. All right, so I can put my c is equal to 12 square root of 5 here, and c is equal to 12 square root of 5 here. Now let's look at d. Where does d appear? D appears right here, all right, as the hypotenuse of this guy. So I've got hypotenuse and short side that of something that I know, because I can't do hypotenuse over long side because that's an E. So I got to pick hypotenuse and short side, and it also appears, D also appears here. So for D I can do, I'm going to do hypotenuse over short side. Okay, so hypotenuse over short side is D over 6. And over here in my large triangle, hypotenuse is 60, short side is D. Okay, so hypotenuse over short side, hypotenuse over short side. So there we go. Let's work this out. Now I get D squared equals 30 times 6, which is another number that is not 30 times 6 is 180. So now D equals the square root of 180. All right, so let's see. 180, I know that that's going to be, I know 9 is a factor, so I get 9 times 20, and I can do the same thing as I did before for 20. It's 4 times 5. So I've got a 9 and a 4. So D equals to 3 times 2, 6, square root of 5. And again, let's go about checking stuff. 5 square root times 6 is 13.416. Square that number is 180. Okay? And so 13.4 is between 6 and 30. That's what we're looking for. We got it. All right, last one. Now we're going to try to solve for E. So E, I can see, appears here as the short side. And hang on, let's mark our D's. Our D's is 6 square root of 5. And over here, I know that D is 6 square root of 5. Okay? So I've got E as a short side, and I can use either the long side or the hypotenuse of this triangle. So let's see. Over here, I've got all numbers. So I'm of the opinion that it makes it easier if I just go ahead and use the ones with just numbers. So I'm going to do short side over long side. I'm going to do short over long. And here we go. So short over long for the medium triangle is going to be E over 24. And for the large triangle, short over long is 6 square root of 5 over 12 square root of 5. Okay? So this is E over 24 equals the square roots of 5 cancel. 6 over 12 is just 1/2. So E equals 24 over 2. So E equals 12. Okay, so there is my C, my D, and my E. All right, all done right there for you. Okay. So again, these problems are pretty involved if it doesn't give you very much to go on. So it can take a little while to solve it. So I appreciate you hanging with me and working through all that one. So you've got a good model of how to do it. I want you to pause the video now and take some time and try to find E and F for example B. All right? So pause the video, come back 10, 15 minutes, however long you need in order to solve it, and then we will figure it out together. Okay, welcome back to the solving portion. Let's see. Again, this is 16 plus 4. So this whole thing is 20. This is my large triangle in blue. All right. My medium triangle, I'm going to do it in green again. So my medium triangle is this one. I'm going to trace it in green. Okay. The right angle is at U. The long side is UR. The short side is UT. Side lengths, UT is 8. RT is E. RU is 16. Okay. And for my small triangle, right angles at the bottom of these. This is my right angle right here. Okay. For my small triangle, it's this one right here. Got, again, right angle is at U. Long side is UT. Short side is US. Hypotenuse is ST. ST is my F. US is 4. And UT is 8. All right, we want to solve for both E and F. Okay, so let's see. I've got E appears right here as the hypotenuse. I can do hypotenuse over long side or hypotenuse over short side. I don't want to use the hypotenuse of the small triangle though because I don't know it yet. That's listed just as F, so that doesn't work out for me. So I'm going to have to pick hypotenuse over something on the large triangle, and my only choice here is to use the long side, which is also E. So I'm going to do hypotenuse over long side. All right. For my medium-sized triangle, it's E over 16. For the large triangle, it is 20 over E. Okay? Everybody with me? E over 16 equals 20 over E. So now E squared equals 20 times 16. That's 320. Right? 20 times 16. 320. Now I need E equals the square root of 320. Right? And that is just 16. 16 times. It's going to be, divide this number by 64 is the best way to go. It's 16 times 20, and 20 is 4 times 5. So just as we did before, I come to 20. So this is going to give me E is equal to the square root of 16, which is 4, times the square root of 4, which is 2. So 8 square root of 5. And again, 5 square root times 8 is, oh, you can't see that, 17. And I square that number, it's 320. Okay. Again, looking at the square root, it's 17.88. That's between 16 and 20. Not much room there, but I did fit it in. So there we go. All right, now to solve for F. I can see that F appears here as the hypotenuse. I want to stay away from this square if I can. So, but I know that E is 8 square root of 5. And up here, E is 8 square root of 5. So now I want to get F. So I need hypotenuse. If I do hypotenuse over short, hypotenuse over short is F over 4 in the small triangle, and in the large triangle, it is 20 over F. F squared equals 20 times 4, which is 80. So F equals the square root of 80. 80 can be broken down into 16 times 5. So that means that F is equal to 4 square root of 5. Okay? So that is your notes. I will try to make another video for the back of the bell ringer, second page of the bell ringer. That will be coming your way shortly. This stuff, you have an assignment to work on. It will not be taken as a grade, but the material will be on the test, so I would strongly advise that you do it. So any questions, catch me on the Zoom. Hope you guys have a great weekend.